What's up, traders? Welcome to my stream. Today's Wednesday, and I had the biggest win, probably the biggest win of my career shorting a stock. The ticker ended up being a 78,000 trade. That is something unreal I never had before. But primarily, what happened was I shorted at 12, and the stock had an offering, and we went down to 5. So, this is what I say in many of my videos to take profits along the way as we're trading these low float stocks. And it ended up being a 78,000. I wasn't really excited. I wasn't really sure like what the actual price, how much profit will I really have. I was just trading it back and forth. So this ticker came into our radar. I ended up having a position short around 10,000 shares, which is not really like a humongous position, but it's pretty big. And I ended up having it, cut in half. So I ended up having a 50% profit. Actually, it was a 70% profit in about 3-minute halts. That each of them were about 10 minutes. So we're gonna go talk about all about it. After my normal disclaimer, like I said, for educational purposes only. This is for educational purposes only. As always, trading is risky. So this is kind of like what has happened here today. This is my Discord room. Actually, it ended up being a 79,500 trade. Like I said in many of my videos, trading is risky and it's very hard, to tell you the truth. And I'll explain to you why why is it so hard. So we're gonna go through all my trades because I have them all lined up here. The ticker we were trading was APVO, and initially the place that I started short APVO, I actually went long and I went short and I went long and I went short. So it was a very big mixture of what the hell happened here. So initially the stock popped up and I was like, yo, this could be, another pop and drop. I gotta be careful. A lot of these tickers have not held gains and you have to be careful. So the news on it was let's see if we can post this over here so we can see the whole price action here. So the news on it was pretty much uh, App Therapeutics share higher as they announced clinical data of their ongoing phase 1 or 2. So it wasn't like a phase 2, it was more like phase 1. And it was also a micro float. And then um, there was a couple of things that I didn't, first off, I looked at the overall chart. As you can see in the left side, the stocks has a really good, a really, really bad history of holding gains because every time the stock spikes, it pretty much sells off. Like here, we sold off like big time, probably due to another offering here. So the stock does not has a history of not holding gains. So that's the first indication that I looked at it, and you can see every time we spiked, we sold off. So so I looked at the flow. The flow was around, I don't know, 7 million, half a million. So definitely a low flow. So here, my first long was right about here, I believe, right about here at around 8. And then I didn't take profits at 9. So I was a little bit pissed off here. You can see my first long was around 8 over here. And then I pretty much sold it for a loss. I think it was over here, and then I sold it here. That's my first trade. My second trade, I entered at 820 right here. And then pretty much I had a nice gain. I had traders in the chat room because this is an active stock. We traded. So I had traders in the chat room trading it at 8, taking profits at 9, and so forth. So, I actually held, these 500 shares over here at 824, and I pretty much doubled down at around 660, and then I sold it on the bounce. So I actually added over here. I actually bought here, added on the bounce, and then sold this. This is not really a good, I mean, I bought the base of the stock, let's call it, because we were in a channel and previously we bounced off 650. So I added into the 650 and then I sold the bounce. This is because I didn't take profits from being long at 820. and we went to $9. This is, don't be like me. Take profits. So right now, everything's peachy. I took this trade. I actually lost this trade, and I actually added, and then so I was like $100 up on the ticker. That's just fine. So the bell rang, and we have this big push over here. I start my first short around 7, and the stock squeezes to 8, and I am pretty much 7. I start my first short. Where did I sell? Right here, 703, and then I pretty much cover at around 8. So let's see. So I was pretty much you can see, so here I sell at 703, and then I pretty much buy it at 8. So this I bought it as we came back here at 8. So initially I went short over here, and then it went into 650 under VWAP. And normally 9 out of 10 times when a stock does something like this, it usually sells off. But in this situation, we reclaimed VWAP, we broke the trend, and I had to cover. So in this situation, I had 3 losses in a row. Actually, I had two losses in a row. Actually, I had the first one, the second one, the third one. So initially, I had about 3 losses in a row. And then I took it again short at around $8, and then I covered at 9. So you can see, so that I shorted again at 8, which was around here. Like this is where I thought the ticker is going to tank. So you can see that multiple times during the day, my bias was short. That's the thing I want you to understand. My bias was to short because it's a crappy ticker. It's a doesn't hold gains. I knew it was gonna run. I thought that was the run, but I didn't really think it's gonna go that much that high. So I bought it here, sold it here, bought it here, added, sold here, and then I shorted here. I held. Then I covered at 8. I reshorted at 8. I covered at 9. I reshorted at 8 over here. I think I reshorted right over here. I covered at 9. So I covered at 9 right here. So you can see that, I traded this stock very aggressively. Like here, I lost $1. Here, I lost $1. And then I went long here on huge size at around $9 right here. This was the long that I took actually at $9 because I saw we were breaking this downtrend, and I held $9, and then I sold at 11. So I have a lot of rules here. So I lost on 2 shorts. I won on a long, and then I shorted at the end of the game. That's pretty much how it worked. So this was this was a loss as a short. This was a loss as a short, so I lost $1. Then I gained $2, so I'm finally green on the day. After I lost 2 times on my short, I went long at 9, and I went long with huge size, which was around 16,000. Was it 16,000? Right here, you can see, so here was around, you can see that it was a 16,000 share position right about here, around 9, and I sold this position. This was the position at 9. I was buying it at 9, and then I sold it at 11. So that put me up green on the day. I was up like 20K on this ticker right here. Right here. From losing, you can see like 5K here, and then I lost 5K here. So I was down like 10K per ticker, 10K per stock. And then I made around on this move here on AT, I made 36K right here. This is my 36K winner, and this is my 10K loser. So I was up 24K right here. This is this is this right here is my 5K loser. 5K loser. This is my 36K win. And now we're right at 13. So this is where things get interesting. Because I already had shares reserved. I already had 5,000 shares, and I actually added another 5,000. So I already had 5,000 shares, and for the safe of for the heck of it, I had another 10,000. So now that we're at 13, I was like, I actually went long a couple times. I think I did. I think I did go long like 1,000 shares. Nothing really big. But I started selling. You can see I actually went long right about here, trying to predict the top. I went long at around 12:20, and then I got stopped out at 12. And then here, this was my big trade right here. When I started shorting at 12:20 or 12:20 and so forth, I started having a massive short because I thought, so you have to understand, like we are close to today was Powell. Powell's speech, I was already talking in my pre-market that, most ticker during the Powell speech, they sell off. That's primarily what they do. When Powell talks, usually small caps are really weak. Actually, I can show you like a lot of tickers that were weak today. If you were gonna say, like, you can see that I have modest gains here. You can see that a lot of tickers were weak today, like PTLE was a ticker that I bought it at 48, sold at 58, and I didn't buy it a second time because I knew it was going to be a weak day. And then I traded Ride because I actually chased it from 50 to 55. And the other tickers, I just pretty much left it alone. We had KWE, which I tried to buy, which was choppy. We had Rally, which ended up being, that was just part of doing business. And LSE I traded. LSE was just another fake out over here. So initially, I traded a lot of tickers that were very weak. And I knew that this ticker, as soon as we hit a top, this thing is going to sell off. So my, my final trade, you can see here my Discord room over here. You can see so right about here. So you can see like my final trade. Where's the now, okay, so here we go. So what was your reason for the 12 short and the ad? I don't know. I felt like it. 9 to 13 was a big move. Powell is peaking. Lots of black swan during the Powell speech. I haven't seen a stock go straight up like this one during a Powell speech. Here's my short right here. Right here. This is my short. Shorting some 12, risking of 12.13, and then shorted some 12.24, stop at 13. So that was at 10.50. So we can look at 12.50. This is 12.50 right here. So right here at 10.50, right about 2 minutes, right here at 10.50, I started short right about here. Like I started short and I started hammering it because I saw the ticker was start selling off. So you can see, so right about here, right about here, right about here in the last ones. So 12.12 and 12.24. So I was pretty heavy on this ticker. So, you know, these stocks, you have to understand, like these stocks are very dangerous, and a lot of offerings happen in these low floats. Like what they do is they they reverse split the stock, and then they have offerings, and they reverse split the stock, and they have offerings, and they continue this perpetual cycle forever and ever and ever and ever. So I knew this ticker one, my bias was to go short, but I got stopped out for $1, another dollar, and then I went long. I made $2 back, and then I started short at around 12, and the thing tanked into three halts down. See, the offering was around $3 a share. You can see if you read the offering, the agreement was around 2.5 million shares. So, at 325 a share. So this technically should have went down to 325. But I waited to see what was going to happen. So I covered my first batch at 550 when we made a new high on the 1 minute. And the last bit that I covered was around $6 right about here. So I had a 565. If I were gonna say a 565 average, 565 average. So around a 615 average. So I made a total of 50% profit shorting APVO. I was up initially over here. This was my big trade. So this is my short trade. I lost $1. This was my short trade. I lost $1. And then this was my long trade. I made $2, and then I shorted it, and then I made $6. So I lost $1, lost $1, made $2, and then made $6. So that's pretty much it. And my size and as I was, winning more and I was more comfortable with the trade, I added more, money into the pot. Because you can see that in the beginning stages, I was only trading, it was around, 3,000 shares, 5,000 shares. You can see that, initially I was starting, I was starting with, initially my positions were around 4,000 shares, in and out of 4,000 shares, so I was risking about 4,000 per trade, and I was losing $1. That's primarily what I did. I sold, and then I pretty much bought back in. I bought, multiple times, sell, and then I bought. My biggest loss was this one. It was $1 a share, which was around 8K, but I made 79K. So I lost 8K, 4K, and then I made 34K over here in this trade because this was a high of the day breakout. And then I shorted it about 2 minutes or 3 minutes before the halt, and then I covered right at 550. It was a crazy day. We had a lot of traders coming in, and they were trading it right here. They bought it at 8, sold it at 9, and then they pretty much went long on this ticker over here. I mean, it was very moody. Some guys went long 750, sold 850. Some other traders went long, $8, sold at 9. So it was primarily very bullish until it wasn't. So the thing I got to tell you about is to, take profits. It's very important for you guys to take profits. This is why I have a disclaimer that you will lose if you follow, follow with details like, follow trade by trade. There's loss in this, but if you see the bigger picture and you can understand, like, they asked me like what exactly made you short at 12:20, 12:30, just before the halt down. And what made me short it is because, I felt it was overbought. And it's not something I can teach you that this is overbought on a Wednesday during a Powell speech when the majority of the small caps are very weak. This is a very field type stock, and the way it trades, the way, from 9 to 13, it was something outrageous. And soon enough, we had an offering and we dumped to 5. So that was one of my. I think this one was probably one of my biggest trades that I have had. I don't think I ever had bigger trades, um, bigger trades than this. I was, like I said, I was live streaming this and I was talking about it. Neil says valid trade. John says nice trade, and my other guy, this guy over here, Mr. M here, has been just ramping it, because he's been like taking base hits, constantly, 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 constantly. So you can see. So I lost 2 times on APVO. Shorted 7, cover 8. Uh, Shorted 8, cover 9. Went long at 9. Exited at 11, and then I pretty much, a lot of traders said that this ticker reminds them of KZIA, and I kept telling them that if you lost in the past on a ticker, say KZIA, and it went to the moon, and you got stopped out as a short, what you want to do is, you want to go long. But it's exactly what I did. If this stock reminds you of a stock that you got squeezed in the past, make sure you go long in it. That's really the whole mentality behind it. So that's about it. Traded. This was a very hard ticker to trade. I don't know. Sometimes you just get lucky. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're just surviving. That was one of the best shorts I ever did. To tell you the truth, I shorted at 12 and it tanked to 5, and just it just two and just three uh three 10-minute halt. That's ridiculous. I never experienced that. I experienced shorting it, and I like I if you look at my history, I am known for shorting these low float stocks. And half the time I don't know what I'm doing because I'm just in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm just watching the price action. So some of them keep going much higher, and some of them have offerings. But in this situation, during the Powell speak, I felt that this is a stock that is going to have an offering for some reason. It just felt like an offering is going to be coming in it, and soon enough it was, and I profited a huge amount of profits here. That's ridiculous. With all my trades right here explained, and I explained this whole trade here. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. This is a crazy ass mover on Thursday, actually on Wednesday before the Powell speech, and tomorrow there's no trading. So that's one of my biggest shorts I've ever seen. Just just ridiculous to be able to share this. Let me take a screenshot of this because this is just something I have because I posted because I have to save this my data. Uh, I have to save this. Oh my God. There we go. So I can oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God. That is funny. Let's see if we can sniping tool. There we go. Oh my God. That is crazy. That's my thumbnail right here. See that this thumbnail? This is my thumbnail right here. So that's about it, guys. I will check you guys in my next video. Like I say, trading is risky. Do not blindly follow me. Make sure you learn from my mistakes and my courses and have a stop loss and learn the setups before doing this expert type trading. But eventually it will pay off. And I'm sure lots of longs got bagged. And so don't be a long that gets bagged. Be a, long and a short and a long and a short. Because I was short, then I was short, and then I was long, and then I was short. So I had the right idea to do this. Other than that, thank you guys for watching my video. Like I say, trading is risky. Be careful out there. Practice first in the simulator. Have a maximum loss, for educational purposes only. And I'll see you all in my next video. As always, I stream in my private Discord every single day, Monday through Friday. And then we still will start around 7. Anyway, peace out, everybody, and all the best.